I believe that Kamala Harris lost the presidential election for two reasons. The one main reason was that all of her politics and policies got intermingled with social politics. And I do believe that the couple of million votes that would have gotten her the win were due to social politics that people weren't willing to, levy with. At the end of the day, though, both the Democrats and Republicans are going to fuck us. No matter who's, behind the wheel, they're going to find a way to fuck us. I oftentimes believe that they're in cahoots with each other and that they're best friends and that, both parties benefit from the charade that they put on. And behind the scenes, they go, should we be blue this year? Should we be red this year? Wouldn't it be interesting if, Donald Trump lost and then came back? Ooh, yeah. Feels like scripted TV. That kind of leads into the second reason why I think Kamala Harris lost, is that she ran as a Democrat. And I completely understand that her political views line up with Democratic views, but I don't think she ran a campaign on her own beliefs. They were the Democratic beliefs, like the Democratic Party's beliefs. Mind you, I imagine that she's a Democrat because her beliefs tend to line up with other Democrats. But what about specific things? What if she felt indifferent about certain policies, about certain opinions? Hell, I think the thing that truly lost her in terms of a social politic topic, it was about trans people. I personally like trans people, but in terms of me thinking strategically about how Kamala Harris might have won or lost the election, I do believe her views about trans people are something that kind of lost her the election. Among other talking points, I don't want to blame trans people, but I do remember the conservative side taking those points in particular and just running with it, being like, look at her, look how she supports, look what she's wanting to do with our money, this, that, and the third. I mean, they rained hell on her for the social politics. I don't believe either party has a economic plan or a sophisticated infrastructural plan or this, that, and the third that's truly going to help us in the long run. I don't in any way believe that the current presidency is going to benefit America, but I also didn't believe that about the last presidency and the one before that. And I was too young to give a shit about the ones before, but personally, considering things are still an objective hellfire, I don't even know if they did anything for anybody. My point being is that if Kamala Harris was given an opportunity to distance herself from the Democratic Party and maybe be 100% her policies or just an alternative Democratic plan, then maybe she would have won. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe having a third party wouldn't have gotten her the win. And honest to God, I really don't think it would have. I do believe that in terms of Democratic votes, I believe wholeheartedly Kamala Harris could have ran on her own viewpoints, a Kamala Harris campaign, not a Democratic Party campaign. Just 100% anything that she thought. Almost similarly to how Donald Trump does it. I believe that there's a bigger agenda behind what Donald Trump is doing. But he won the first time off of simply being himself, and then the Republican Party sort of latched upon it. and they took advantage of his, you know, energy and whatnot, and now we're here where we are. But had Donald Trump not gotten the Republican Party's support, he very easily could have taken a large majority of their votes away by creating his own party. I was surprised that he didn't. I don't know if I'm thankful that he did or didn't. I don't know what world we would be in if there were a Donald Trump party, just not even a Republican party, just a Trump party. But it's an option that is not illegal. We're not tied, we're not forced to be a two-party system. Every time we do this stupid election race, we do the whole polls and whatnot, and we get on the news and everything. I feel like we are misled into understanding that this is not supposed to be a competition between the Democrats or the Republicans. It's just supposed to be a competition between whoever is running for president. I hate political parties. Only because there's only two. I know that there are third parties that are out there, but y'all aren't talking to me. You know? I'm in very much support of third party movements. Like, I like the idea of them. They often just seem, third party movements are what meme coins used to be. Like that's the best way that I can explain it. The rent is too damn high party, the Green Party, which like is such a stupid fucking name. Like, yeah, well, they already have red and blue. We'll just pick these two fucking colors. Fuck you. Shut up. I believe wholeheartedly that if you are an American and you feel like you've never, ever, no matter who gets elected, ever gotten what you wanted or ever felt like you were represented, it's because you keep voting Democrat or Republican. Like that, I'm sorry. I don't mean to put that on the people, but it is our power. It's our vote, our power to choose who we want. And I just don't understand how we over and over and over again keep repeating how stupid the process is, how stupid everything is, and yet we keep voting Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. I personally, I think that whenever we run into these situations in America where we just don't feel like we're getting what we want, I really just feel like it comes from the fact that I don't know, the two-party system is like two rusty swords. You know what I'm saying? There's no precision. There's no specificity of it. I think what's bullshit about both parties is that they often generalize what they say. And it's because they have to. You know what I mean? They can't be specific when there's a representative in the Democratic Party from every corner telling them, go this way, go that way. And that's not inherently a bad thing, the fact that the Democratic Party has so much representation amongst its party. But a Democratic and a Republican Party in the federal government, to a degree, makes more sense. But on the ground level of like statehoods, right, state to state, it doesn't really make sense why we have a Democratic or a Republican like options, like only those two options in terms of anything regarding state politics. That can't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You're saying that what's good for 50% of the country politically, like the Republican mindset, is something that can work all across in every state. And then in both states, the only two options in all 50 states are red and blue. Like, I feel like we have, like, there are states with only like 100,000 people. I think like North Dakota and South Dakota, I think that like combined, they don't even scrape 1 million people. And I often thought, like, they just seem like the type of place that would be, like, easy for a third party to rise. Like, it could be left or right-leaning, but it just seems like they have specific problems that would warrant a specific party. You know? Like, New York is so populated. It's so huge. It's borderline its own country itself. The idea that a single party that represents half of the country, like the idea that it's supposed to work in all 50 states, these only two options, the fact that both sides could even argue, oh, my way, my ideology, it works in this state too, so it should work for the entire country. It doesn't make sense. You know? No, that's why I say, like, maybe if only in the federal government it was these two parties competing, maybe one more party, you know what I'm saying? Just another group that had another ideology. That would make sense on that level. But in between the states, now I don't understand why individuals are not capable of, like, making this push. Why we don't gravitate towards individuals who try to represent themselves. I don't even think they should have a party. I wonder why many people don't just walk up and say, I'm doing this on my own terms. I love independence. I don't really know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think Kamala Harris lost because she's just not in the political spectrum, or she's not in a political space that she could win in. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't have ran Democrat. None of them should ever run Democrat or Republican. I don't think any of them should have. I wholeheartedly believe that had Donald Trump ran as a third party candidate, he might still have won. That's kind of scary. But if you listen to this and you feel how I feel, it's a very mixed thing that I just talked about, like how I think these elections are going and whatnot, and why people are winning or losing. But truthfully, I believe that a big reason why, at least if you're like, God, things are just not working out in my hometown or my home state, I really do believe that the politics need to be shaken up. They need a new challenger to enter into the ring of politics, of ideology, of how to approach things. It is what it is. All right, go ahead and start.